Hello, and I'm so happy to be back. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to see you chatting. And I wanted to just say this. You miss a couple shows, and then it's like you totally have forgotten how long it takes you to get ready to get on camera. I am so sorry. Gosh, I was watching the clock and it was like it was going, but I was in slow motion. So hello, everybody. I'm so glad to be back. I had a great time, but I miss you guys. You know how that works. Dolores, hi, sweetheart. Let's see all who's here. Debbie, first person here, and I got her emails. I'm so tickled. Hi, Miss Marcia. I missed you, and I'm glad you're back, being our welcome wagon for everyone. That is so nice. And so Dolores is here. And Polly, hi, sweetie. I am so tickled about the quilt you made and can't wait to show everybody. Okay, and Jody, hi, sweetheart. Gosh, I missed you very much. And Marcia and Mary and Sonia, hi, hon. And it's Laura R. It's so good to see you again. Oh, this is really great to see all of you. Bonnie is here. Yay, yay, Bonnie. Bonnie, I love the outfit you're making for SCA. That is so cool. And for those of you who might not know, it's a reenactment society, and they have such a great time. And I know museums like the one that I used to work for really valued those people because it helped them flesh out for when they would have big special events. People would come to see the people in costume, and it was wonderful. They would make campfires. It was just wonderful. So that's terrific. I hope Nadine's advice helped you, sweetie. That was wonderful. Let's see, Dolores, good job doing pet portraits. You are wonderful at them. That Bernese mountain dog was wonderful. So it is so good to see all of you. And Diana B is here. I got her email too. And what costume is it? I will show you a picture today. I put a picture in Bonnie's folder. So that's exciting. I've got the picture, so stay tuned for our show and tell, and I'll show you what she's making. So her good friend Dan, he's a reenactor. So I am so excited because you know what? I told Mark, the world is so full of wonderful activities and opportunities. Pretty much, you just have to find what your passion is, what is fun for you to do. Now, I don't know about y'all today, but I want you to look. Let me see if I can turn this to my window. Do you see how dark it is at 3 o'clock? It's because we are so overcast with rain. But I'm not going to complain. We needed the rain when I was gone. I don't think it did much of any rain. So, hello. Let me start from the beginning, and I'm so happy. Oh, you'll make it. We'll make sure you make it. Yeah, this rain, it's either feast or famine this year with Pakistan. I think it's Pakistan. A dam, a huge lake might overflow. The dam might overflow. So it's all around the country. It is hit or miss. What a mess. So anyway, I got back home Wednesday night at 6 p.m. And I kind of hinted to you that, and if I sound a little stuffy today, I got a cold when I came home, but I'll tell you more about that. And just so you know, I tested 3 times. I am negative for COVID. I took my test with me, and since each of my kids, my son tested before I left to go there. So then when I went from his house to my daughter's, I tested myself and tested negative. And then on the way home, I tested myself just in case I had been exposed on the trip. I didn't want to bring it home to Mark. And then when I got my cold, the second day of the cold, I thought, I better make sure this is not COVID. And it wasn't. And just to let you know, Wednesday, Mark and I are going to get our brand new version of the COVID booster, and the one that does the Omicron and the B4 and the B5 variant. Yay. And while we're there, we're going to get the flu shot, because with everybody getting back out to the world, they predicting a tough flu year. So we get one in each arm, come home, and maybe have a sore arm for a day or two. But we're going to be as protected as we possibly can get. So that's coming up Wednesday, as long as I don't have jury duty. I got a jury duty notice. Oh, Lord, I almost get a panic attack just thinking about it. For whatever reason, I have always been afraid of doing jury duty. So cross your fingers that when I call tomorrow night, they'll say, oh, you're not needed. So anyway, but so I went to my son's, and I left a day early because I thought, if I drive 7.5 hours up there, because I went by myself, me and Gromit, or the two buddies driving in the car, I thought, if I get there and the boys are going to be excited to see me and I'm going to be worn out. So I went the night before, and I left here about 3:30 in the afternoon and got there at 11:30 at night. I guess around 11 o'clock. And was perfect. The boys were in bed. I was able to get my stuff in when it was a little bit cooler, because it was right around 90 degrees the whole time I was in Maryland, and humid. But I got a good night's sleep, and then was able to wake up and visit with the boys, and that was much better. And when I what was I going to say? I forgot what I was going to say. I looked down and saw Debbie's booster. And if you've had COVID, you have to wait 3 to 4 months after it. And if you've had a booster, wait 3 to 4 months after your last booster. And so this will be my 5th shot for COVID. So and you know what? I'm excited because it gets your T cells going. It kind of gets your body busy fighting little things. And maybe that's why I fought the cold so quickly. But I went to my son's Thursday night and left there Sunday late morning and went across to the Eastern Shore to see my daughter, and had a great time, although I was so tired from those toddlers. Oh my gosh, they are busy little people. And it was wonderful. But babies are for young people, and I'm not a young people anymore. But I've got lots of pictures to show you. I took video, but I'm waiting on some last minute photos from my daughter, and then I've got the process of editing, and I'm not good at it. So we'll see. I'm hoping by next week I have a video for you, but at least I have some photos today. So it was nice just driving less than 2 hours to go to my daughter's. And then I enjoyed that they cook good food, and I got to see my granddaughter Kylie, and who's a senior this year too. Oh my goodness, these grandbabies are growing up. Hold on, I need a little tissue. Hold on. So I start talking and my nose starts running. So anyway, got to see my granddaughter, and I enjoyed my time. I got to go out and see her goat and her sheep, and that was wonderful. So in her new garage, oh man, is that garage nice. And it has some stairs that could support elephants. I mean, it is well built. So, and they got a tractor, a John Deere lawn tractor, which should really help them in all the heavy things they have to do with having livestock. Any of you who've had livestock, you understand there's a whole lot to it between the feeds and the hays, and sadly, even burying the deceased of the livestock, which happens from time to time. But yes, she does. She has on Etsy, it's called, is it Pearl and June, Purl and June. She sells wool. She sells goat milk soap, and does a beautiful job. So Pearl and June on Etsy, and so talented. She does felting art where she takes the wool and dyes it and makes beautiful art portraits. In fact, she sent me home with a package of little roving in different colors of wool. So excited. And yeah, definitely look her up. She does a big craft fair in December where she sells a bunch of soap that she makes herself. So I had a great time with her, and then left there Wednesday morning and drove home. And so on the way up, I told you I was going to go a back way because I don't like I-95. It scares me, especially the beltway around Washington scares me. But since I left here at 3:30 in the afternoon and drove in the evening and night, I missed all the rush hour. I missed all the foolish people who drive like crazy people. But so that part was nice. And I'm a night person, so it made it easier for me. So then on the way home, I had to drive back with all the crazy people. And that was on a work day, Wednesday. And I tried to time it so I would miss the big cities during rush hour. But so I'm driving along down 95 near DC. And all of a sudden I noticed a car in front of me moves over, and there's a tire. Truck tire had peeled, and the full round of that peeled truck tire was right in the lane. So luckily I had enough warning because, I don't tailgate. It doesn't pay to tailgate for me. And so I had time to move over. Well, then a few more miles down the road, I see there was a panel truck in front of me. And he all of a sudden swerved over, and there were two traffic cones right in my lane. I'm like, is somebody trying to tell me something? This time I had to really swerve. I'm so happy that this 66-year-old gal can still react. So I swerved to get out of the way. I'm like, okay, I'm ready to go home now. This is a little too exciting. I didn't expect a demolition derby on I-95. So, but then I started coming down. Oh, you know what? I meant to go see. Oh, I should have thought about seeing Alberta Conti. Oh, I didn't even think about it. I was so nervous about traveling. Well, when she comes on here, I'm going to have to tell her that next trip, I'm going to come see her. And actually, she's just a friend I met on here. It's so neat. So I'll have to make a point of going to see her. But anyway, so I'm driving along. Things are going pretty good, making good progress. And get to around Durham, traffic was stop and go. 20 minutes worth of slowdown because evidently there were a couple accidents and they were working on them in that lane. And so that was a 20-minute slowdown. And so then, I went to see both my kids. But then I got near Kernersville and there was another slowdown. But this time, and I don't know about you, but maybe it's because I haven't driven on a long trip in a year and a half, at least. I happen to look as I'm going by. I see a fire truck. I see police cars, lights going, all these people on the road. I happened to glance over and saw the vehicle that got into the accident, and it was so smashed, the whole side of it, and it was up under the overpass. Somehow it kind of wrapped around the poles that hold the overpass. And, that upset me. I tell you what, I was like, I can't cry now, because I immediately wanted to tear up, because you think nobody survived that. And so I got all like that. And I said, wait till you get home, then you can tell Mark, and then you can cry. So I was real brave. I put my big girl face on, and I'm driving home. And I got home, and I said, I just need to tell you this. And so I was able to, but sometimes you see an accident that just kind of chills your heart. But otherwise, I did really good. And thank goodness, the quilt wagon, she drove beautifully and no real problems. And thank goodness gas prices continue to come down, because at one point up in Maryland, they were $3.70 something, $3.79. And by the time I got home, it was $3.27. Yay. So that's always so good. And another good jobs report. Things are coming around. I don't know if you guys realize, but things are turning around so good. So it just makes for a very positive Deb. And I'm so glad to be home. So I got home Wednesday night. Thursday when I woke up, I didn't sleep good. I just started to fall asleep, and I dreamt I was changing lanes and clipped the bumper of the car in front of me, and I jolted awake. I was like, you've been driving too much. So it was like, oh my gosh. Oh, I will definitely, if I drive anywhere near Ohio, I'm going to come see my Miss Jody. So, but anyway, you're still paying over for the West Coast. Don't they get y'all? Let me tell you. But, so I got so many things. So anyway, I get home Thursday night, Wednesday night, I was too jumpy and keyed up to sleep well. So Thursday, I kind of noticed, I think I'm getting a cold. And when I was with my grandsons, you know how little kids just seem to have sneezes and coughs, and nothing really obvious. But my grandson sneezed right in my face. He was right there and just sneezed. And I was like, oh, God. So I knew I was going to get a cold. So then Thursday night when I went to sleep, I slept for 12 hours. That should have tipped me off. Something wasn't right. So I got up and I'm just not feeling good. The watery eyes, the running nose, the feeling of something in the very back of your throat, the headache, the stuffy head. And sure enough, by that night, I'm like, I have a cold. So then all day Saturday, I'm just feeling miserable. Nothing obvious, no fever, just miserable. And so finally I took a COVID test, and that's the one I just showed you. I was fine. I went, good, because you just never know. But anyway, so I'm much better though. By yesterday, I was thinking, should I do a show? And I was still kind of tired. So I said, well, let me wait one more day. And I woke up this morning going, I feel good. So anyway, I'm sorry to talk about all of that, but I figured I'd catch you up on what I've been doing since I've been away. Oh, I want to say something too. Oh, sweet potato wedges with olive oil and Miss Bonnie, you are a chef. That's wonderful. I had some green tea the other day with lemonade in it. Oh man, does that feel good when you have a cold or what? But, so I hope you didn't mind that I changed the show to today, but because I've got so many things to tell you about. But, I know what I was going to say. The first thing I wanted to do is I want to put a shout out to Miss Danielle Nicolo. and I hope I pronounced her name somewhere close to right. Let me tell you about sweet Miss Danielle. She sent me an email to ask if I was okay because she knew I was going to see my kids out of town, and she expected me to be back and I wasn't. And she was just worried and hoping I wasn't sick. That was so sweet. What makes this extra sweet is I assume she lives in France or French Canada because she doesn't speak English. So she was using a translation to write to me. And I wrote back to her and she wrote back to me because I said, do you want to join our group? And she had to tell me, I don't speak English. So what she does is has to wait until our show is up for 2 days. Then she can get the translated version of it. Is that so sweet? So that's why she doesn't join us live, because she doesn't speak or understand English. So this time I went and used a translator to translate my English to French and wrote her back and told her what a doll baby she is. I got to tell you guys, Carol's here. I got to tell you, you guys mean everything to me. Y'all are the kindest people. When someone who doesn't even speak my language can reach out to make sure I'm okay, how lucky am I? And it's all to prove why I love what I do. And Miss Bonnie, I'm glad you're on here today. Do you realize in February I will have been doing this for 5 years? 5 years. And I'm not setting the world on fire, but you know what? I love what we have. I love our group. And I just want to keep on going until you're sick of seeing me. I know. Can you believe it's going to be 5 years? I started in February of 2018. So it's like, whoa. And Bonnie was here almost in the very beginning. So that's why I want to make sure to point that out to Bonnie. We love our Bonnie. So when I was at my daughter's, and I do have some good stuff to show you once I get caught up. This is why I can't miss a show, because it's just too much to tell you. But while I was at my daughter's, I knew I had been bitten by this crochet bug that some of you ladies started on here, Miss Marsha and Miss SJ and all of you. So I picked up some yarn. Now, this yarn I've had in the cabinet for over 20 years, okay? So this was nice and soft. And I think this was the type of yarn. And then I had this other type of yarn. And this one was, I guess, just too old. But it is a type of acrylic that's rough. And it's a pretty color. Very pretty. You know, I love jewel tones. So I decided I wanted to make a hooded scarf and put pockets on the bottom by folding up the end. So I started working on it. I thought, I don't know how to read patterns. I just know how to mess around with crocheting, right? So I think it's an old yarn. So here's what I started, and this was going to be the pocket folded up. But now I haven't crocheted except for half an hour at a time for years. And then I'm looking going, wait a minute, everything's getting wonky and I don't really know stitches. So I just kind of pretend things back and forth. And I finally went, ooh, this is not soft. So my daughter, she's a knitter. So she took my what do you call them? Your yarn thing. And she put it on a winder and made what's called a cake of yarn. So she's trying to help me, you know, but Michelle is here. Hi, Michelle. Boy, did those grandbabies wear me out, Miss Michelle. Whew, skeins. Thank you, Polly. See, and my grandmother taught me how to do a knit stitch and a crochet stitch 58 years ago. So, and that's all I've ever learned. So I decided I am enjoying you know how you see somebody do it and you think, oh, I want to try. And oh, do I have pictures of SJ's crocheting. It's amazing. And Miss Nadine has gone crazy over it too. I decided to go to Etsy online and order this pattern. That just looks so soft and so sweet. And so this is by Winding Road Crochet. And it was $3 and something. And I'll show you Winding Road Crochet. And it was so cheap, and it's a downloadable. But look at this and see how it has pockets at the end and see how it has that hood. I'm going to love this. And, I've got a retreat in November I'm going to be going to, and it can get cold. So I'll have this when I walk back and forth to the sewing room from our lodge. But I thought, oh, this looks really nice. So Winding Road Crochet. Tell her I sent you. But what a wonderful, wonderful, she's done the work. And are you ready for this? Not only does she have, oh, hi, Sandy. Hi, Sandy. It is so good to see Sandy. Well, pretend I'm seeing Sandy. Hi, hon. Oh, and so not only does she have the pattern, she has a YouTube channel and she has a video devoted to it. So when you get her pattern, she'll show you where to find the extra information. So I didn't know about back yarn something, where you take the back of a stitch and what it does to the stitches. And I was fascinated. So I read the reviews and it says oh, hi. Oh, it is so good to see you, Sandy. That's wonderful, darling. And tell him we had a thunderstorm recently, so he's glad he's not here anymore. He got sick and tired of our thunderstorms. So, and I don't blame him. They happen a lot around here. But anyway, so she has a YouTube video. And she gives you, in the pattern, she gives you the link to it and a Facebook group and all that. So I already went and watched the video. I'm so excited. I now understand each stitch. She's an excellent teacher. So anyway, so I got that going. And I'm going to say hello again to Miss Danielle Nicolo. And what a sweet lady. And I want her to know how much her email meant to me. So, all right. I've got a special quilt to show you today. But right now is my finished mystery quilt. I love that little thing. So as soon as I get the indigo quilt off the frame, that's going to go on. I will quilt it and then put it on the wall for fall. And I'm thinking she's in France, but I'm not sure. And so I'm hoping that she'll let us know. But what a sweetheart. So very, very nice. So I love the mystery quilt. It sparkles. I'm so excited about fall this year. I am so done with summer. So if you haven't made the mystery quilt, please consider making it. Grab your scrap bag and just have fun. It's so easy. The pattern's on our site, but let's say you're not a member of our site or for whatever reason you can't get to it, then just send me a name. Oh, I got to see what Dolores is doing. So our time to, Carol beat me to it. Thank you, dear Carol. Thank you. So send me an email. I'll pop you the pattern. Okay. And it's easy. And in less than a day. Boom, you'll have it done. Very, very easy. All right, send me pictures if you make it because I'll show them on here. I love it. Oh, he doesn't know why the TV's talking to him. That's so cute. Aw. And make sure to tell Patrick I said hello. So what is going on with Miss Dolores? Because I could see some excited conversation. I know Miss Dolores is probably busy with all of her craft shows and art shows and oh my goodness. Diana B crochets inside out. Wow. Yeah, I'm a left-handed crocheter. In fact, I'll show you. But the good thing about being a left-handed crocheter is I can show you right-handers because in the camera, it will look like, now where's my needle? Oh, here it is. In the camera, it'll look like I'm right-handed. Let me drop this down just a little bit. Okay, let's see. Where am I? So now I've got to pull all this out. And who knows what I'll do with this. But, so because I am so dominant left-handed. I don't know how my grandmother taught me, because I don't believe she was left-handed. But this is a double crochet. I know enough to know that. And then this is called chaining, where you just do this. And then you can come over and go in this, like this, do another double crochet. And then doing the back of the yarn, you just go in through just the back part of the little loop and come through with a single crochet. So now, let me see if I can show you what it looks like for you right-handers. And I'm left-handed. I will try to, let's see if I can show you. So this is what it looks like. And I am so curious what Diane's looks like. Okay, so here is from left-handed. And, so far as how you control your yarn, it's entirely what you want to do. Some people kind of go like this. I mean, there's just all kinds of ways that you control your tension. So that's what it looks like if you're left-handed crocheting. But you can see where if I do it sitting right across from you, it doesn't look so unusual. But anyway, so to go with my new pattern that I got, I looked on Amazon. I was putting in an Amazon order. Okay, how to know if you've got a good partner. What you do when you know you've got a good partner is you're watching a Quilting Arts TV show, and he sees that they're doing couching, and they've got this really cool foot that your yarn runs through, and then you're able to couch in freestyle. That's awesome. And he said, you need one of those feet. Really? Well, I looked, but they're kind of, pricey. You need one. I can see you taking the grandson's names and writing it with the yarn on their quilt. I thought that was so cute. So it was a Bernina couching foot, which is amazing because it has a little tunnel for it to come in. It's got like a clear plastic disc, and it comes in through a little tunnel and goes down. Oh my goodness. But I don't have a Bernina machine. So I did find 3. I have a low shank Jukies. Both my Jukies are low shank. And I found 3 feet, and they had different size holes. So I can change them out depending on how thick the yarn is. But that's going to really come in handy because I like doing art quilts. And so like when I'm doing my undersea view landscapes, and I want to put decorative yarns in for all the undersea life, It'll be wonderful. So it's due in, I think, sometime this week. And when they come in, I'll show them to you and show how they work. And I saw a really cool thing where one of the feet for one of the machines, I think a Janome, had a wire that came out and kind of, so it holds the yarn away so it can feed in smoothly. So that's the next thing. I'm going to try to see if I can rig something up for that. But anyway, okay. I wanted to give you a little bit of fact today. And hopefully this is the most up to date, but it's how much did the most expensive quilt sell for at an auction? It's the quilt that sold for the highest price at an auction. Anybody have ideas? It was a Civil War quilt known as the Reconciliation Quilt, and it was bought for $264,000 in 1991. Just a little fun fact I thought you might get a kick out of. So keep quilting, because maybe one day somebody will make a lot of money with one of your quilts. So we'll be long gone, but hey. Another good thing to tell you. Okay, so I was sitting there. Oh, and I wanted to get another 1/4-inch foot for my low shank, and I wanted it to have a blade. And so I found one on Amazon for $5 and something, a little snap-on. Hopefully it'll work, because I'm used to the 1/4-inch foot with a blade, and I kind of like it. You know, it's kind of like, wake up, Deb, here's the edge. You must stop here. It's not negotiable. So, but while I was looking around my emails, I found this wonderful thing, a September to-do list. That best part of this September to-do list, it only has 10 spaces. Because I don't know if you're like me. I'm getting a little warm here. Let me bring this fan up. I don't know if you're like me, but if you're like me, we use a college-ruled notebook and have 30 things on our September to-do list. This is much, much more reasonable. Now, I'm going to give you the link so that you can go download one of these yourself. So give me 1 second here while I get the link. And, all right. Okay, September to-do page. Okay, here it is. So if you go to this link, hopefully you also can grab this, because you know what? Stuff like this is fun. Stuff like this is fun. Okay. There it is. All right. Now, if it doesn't actually work as a link, hopefully it will, but you can always copy and paste it. But I thought that was just so pretty, and it'll look nice sitting up here, whether I finish all of it or not. So I like that. Okay. Another freebie. If I can find freebie stuff for y'all, I love it. All right, here is, I am now getting the Rfl Newsletters. And I thought, let me just see what they put in them. They put some really cool stuff. They had a visit to Pompeii in postcards, which I love. I've been to Pompeii one time. Yay, it was so much fun. It was a long time ago. But here is a wonderful free pattern. And look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And you don't have to have an embroidery machine. It's something you can do yourself. Now, let me give you the link to this one. See, I told you I was happy to be back. I tried to find a bunch of fun stuff for y'all. All right. Here it is. This is by Kathy Ross, and it's called Pompeii Block. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Hold on. Wait a minute. Yeah, okay. I think this is it. I hope I have the right thing, but I think I do. I think I do. Okay. Here is this one. And you know, of course, they're promoting their threads, which are amazing. And I think made in Italy. I forgot. But this is just so beautiful. And it is by Kathy Ross. Very talented person. Okay. All right. Then one more that I found on the Rfl site. This one's got a few little wet marks. Don't worry about that. But this is a half Hexy block. English paper piecing, which is all the rage right now. And done with the right colors. I figured 3 colors. That could be really amazing. Or make it multicolored. But definitely do the light, medium, and dark that gives it the 3D effect. So now, let me give you the link to this one. Okay. And this is English paper piecing. Now, some of you might have a Cricut or paper cutter. Some of you, like me, would probably have to make our own papers. And you can take cardstock and make a bunch of patterns to do it around. And since it's not a real full hexagon, I can still stick to my promise of never doing a hexagon. But I don't know. I just thought it might be kind of neat. And so you can see, especially down here, how it's a half hexagon. But I thought that was kind of cool. So you can go get the pattern for this free, thanks to Rfl. Okay? And I can't print it and send it to you. You have to go get these yourself, personally. Because they're free to you, but they don't want me, like, distributing for them. So I understand it, and I'm just grateful. They're so generous. All right, now, let's see. I wanted to tell you on my mystery quilt, I made 4 stems and figured out how they would kind of come together in the middle. But let's say you didn't want to do 4 separate pieces. Then you could just do 2 long ones that would cover the space where the stems. You could leave the stems off and do some beautiful quilting in the center. But I just wanted to make sure to tell you that. Oh, I forgot to bring down, I ordered some beads right before I left. They had a really good sale, and I ordered just a few. I left them upstairs. I can't show you that today, so I'll show you that next week. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Boy, you can tell I've been away. I've forgotten how to keep stuff in my brain. But today, okay, so I was putting together an order from Amazon. Remember I told you that Fabric.com, which is owned by Amazon, had, thank you, Miss Marcia, they had Kona white fabric for $5.22, 25 cents a yard. It was such a good price, and I last bought 3 yards that I did the indigo dyeing with. Well, I have very little white fabric left over from the indigo dyeing. I had talked about doing possible Procyon ice dyeing, which I might still do if the weather can get better. But I was telling Mark I really would like to get some more fabric because I want to do some more indigo dyeing. And I'm thinking I'm going to a retreat in November. I'm going to go to Myrtle Beach Quilt Party in January. And they have opportunities if you wanted to sell things you make there. So I'm thinking that I'll take my charm packs and see if people are interested. But I just love doing indigo dyeing. I'm addicted to it. So he was like, oh, do you really want to do more? And I kind of went, okay, let me just stick with what I've got, Well, then I had gone around the internet to see, was there a cheaper place to buy prepared for dyeing or white fabric? And you don't have to use prepared for dyeing. You just have to scour your fabric. Wash it in hot water. I wash it twice. Make sure you remove any chemicals added during the manufacturing process. So I looked around and I noticed that there are a couple places that sell black, white, ivory fabric on the bolt. There is Hancock's of Paducah, Missouri Star, Pineapple Fabrics, just to name three. And I noticed that Pineapple Fabrics had a 20% off. So they have a bolt with 10 yards made by, it starts with an A. Anthology? No. Anyway, but it's a brand name. And so, that would be nice. That would be nice, Marcia. I took a charm pack to my daughter, and it was fun showing her how I made the different designs in the charm pack. So, they have a 10-yard bolt of the white and Andover fabric. So I know it's a good quality line. And 10-yard bolt for $54.99, but they have a 20% off Labor Day sale. And I went, that would bring it down to $43.99. That's pretty good considering 10 yards. That brings it down to $4.39 a yard. That's better than $7.25. You know me. Cheap as all get out. So I said, no, I don't want to spend that extra money. I got the couching feet and the other little foot and some more wooden beads because I love painting wooden beads. So anyway, I thought, what am I going to do? So just let it go. A sale will come up and then you'll know it's the right time to buy it. I opened my email this morning. Pineapple Fabrics, today only, is offering free shipping. Free shipping plus $11 off that bolt of fabric. I said, Mark, he goes, what? I told him. He was like, you got to get it. I said, I know, I've got to get it. I mean, the stars all lined up and the price was right. So I quickly put that order in, and I wanted to let you know if there's something you need, they're having 20% off plus free shipping today only. So I just, what are we going to do? I know, Mark's, he knows, and I told him too. And just so you know, I don't feel a bit guilty for ordering this, not one bit, because I know I needed it, I know I'll use it, and I got double sales. So anyway, all righty. Now, I showed you the crochet progress. I showed you all the free little things. Alex Anderson has started on her, how she does a Monday, Wednesday, Friday kind of thing. Love that, from her home. She's back now from the latest taping, and I want to support her, the quilt show. She works so hard for that. And so she's back and she's doing an improv episodes of shows. So she was doing hand quilting, now she's doing improv. So any of you who've been wanting to do improv, tune in. It's listed under the quilt show, and then you go to learning and you can find them. And I already watched the first one and I thought, tell the ladies, that's too good. So you can find it by going to thequiltshow.com and then going to learning, and then scroll down and you'll see Alex's shows on it. And they're free. You don't have to be a member of the Quilt Show. But so if you're on a budget, you can still see improv teaching series. I think she's doing another improve your quilting series right now, but I think you have to be a member to get that one. All right. I think we've talked about that. So I have a couple little fun things to show you. All right. You saw last week where I did the painted fabric and then cut it up and put it back together. I love that. I want to do more with that. That was Anne Rebele. Anne, Rebele. You can find her online. She was on Art Quilts, Quilting Arts on the PBS channel I watch. But you can look up quiltingarts.com, I guess. And Anne Rebele. Amazing. I love, love, love that. All right. I tell you what, I'm getting so much done lately. This is the quilt. Some of you are going to recognize this from before. But this is a quilt. Oh, I'll be right back. Let me go see if I can find the book for it. Hold on. Hold on. I meant to get this book and forgot. It's up here somewhere. If I can't find it, I'll come right back. But here it is. I knew right where this is. And because my room got cleaned out, I can now find things. Yay, Deb. So I saw a picture of this quilt. I'm going to move it back right now so you can see it better. But let me show you real quick how this was the easiest quilt to make because it's made with ombre fabrics. So, like the green had from the lightest light to the darkest in it. The blue, the same thing. And then you use this really nice charcoal gray. And this hangs in my hall all the time. And I just think this is so pretty. Exactly. That's what happens. So I happened to see a picture of this. I mean, to me, that is just, it's one of my favorite all-time quilts. I absolutely love it. And I did straight line quilting, which I think just reinforces the beauty of it, which I can't say I invented myself. I went with the book. So what I did is when I saw a picture of this, and it's a French braid quilt, and I had been wanting to make one of those. And the fact that it's done with ombre fabric that has all the colors makes it so easy. So here is the book, French Braid Quilts with a Twist, Jane Hardy Miller. And I went online and found it used and bought it. It's originally from C&T Publishing, and I went with exactly what she had done. But it has all kinds of different French braid quilt patterns in it. I made this, 6 or 8 years ago, and I love it. I just think it is good. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? So Charlene Piper is here. Yay. So I just thought I'd show you that. And I did get the book. And it's very easy to make. Very easy to make. She has wonderful directions in here. And here's a picture of the author. And so French Braid Quilts with a Twist by Jane Hardy Miller. And there is my quilt. I taught this too, and it was just a lovely quilt to do and a lovely quilt to own. Hangs in my hall. So, yes, Marcia, you did have a cleaning party. That was wonderful. All right, so I wanted to show you that. I also have someone had asked how I did the painted beads. So I might do a little slight refresher on that too today. But the first thing is, let's come down here. I'm trying something. You know how Deb likes to see what I can do. Okay. Whoops. Let me tighten my camera. So I wanted to do something new for today. And I got thinking, and you know it's always dangerous when I start thinking, but I looked online for free mandala, okay? And I printed it out on freezer paper. Now, to print it out on I know, Laura, aren't they great together? Who would have thought? Turquoise and lime. Okay, so to print it out, I took a piece of reused paper, and I took a piece of freezer paper and cut it to this exact size, lightly ironed it onto the paper. That way I could put it in my printer. It would print easily, no problem. So I printed, I think, 5 of these freezer papers. Now, and then I numbered what order I wanted to paint them and how. I'm hoping to use this as a stencil. Now, I just saw something. Let me do something really quickly. I thought I had cut this out better than I have, but I'm going to come up here and I want to nip off a little bit of this. Yeah. And just making sure I've got the best template possible. Now, I'm going to go ahead and center this. So the easiest way to center this is, what is the difference between kaleidoscope and mandala? A mandala it's an age-old name for like circles of life. And this, the way you make this is like doing a kaleidoscope, because if you were to look, you have like, well, I can tell you, you have 8 segments here. In fact, let me see. 8 segments. So this is like a kaleidoscope, but a kaleidoscope can be any type shape. A mandala is just a term. Okay. If you'll see what that looks like, then watch. If you take this, now you see it's the same as the whole thing. So see, it's 8 equal wedges with the same pattern on them. And there you go. Now, optical, I'm not sure that you're here for a good reason. So I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you for stopping by, but we're done. Yeah, let me see. How do we, okay. Hold on. Can somebody help me get rid of this person? Oh, Carol, thank you. If we can block this person, that would be wonderful. I thought I knew how to do it, but somehow I have forgotten again. Ah, here we go. Put user in timeout, remove user. Oh, that's not nearly enough. Oh, good, Mary. Good, good, good. There's just no reason for that. There are plenty of places that they can go to of things they like. They don't need to bother us, Okay. So I'll remove. Good. All right. So what I was showing you before we were so rudely interrupted, I've taken a piece of white cotton, and then I put interfacing on the back because I plan to do some heavy quilting on this. But for right now, I'm taking and folding right sides together. Then I'm going to come and give it a light press this way. Then I'm going to fold it half again this way. Oh, good. Thank you, ladies. I have not had that happen forever. And I guess, it's a day off and people have not enough to do. I think that young man, he needs to clean the kitchen. And he needs a job. There we go. All right, so now if you notice, I know exactly where to put the center. So now I'm going to put the center on here and decide exactly how I want this to face, because I'm going to keep them all the same way. And the nice thing is this little pattern helps me line it up. Now I'm going to take the freezer paper, because remember, it's printed, but it's freezer paper. And I'm going to press it really good on my fabric. Oh, yes, thank you. Oh, Melissa Lamb, how are you? Boy, we've missed you. It's so good seeing you. Okay, so now this is the fun part, okay? I put the completely solid one down, okay? Let me close this drawer. I don't know why I left it open. Okay, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I got some pipettes. Before the show, I mixed some paint colors. Oh, good, Melissa. I mixed some paint colors with, and they're just acrylic paints. I mixed them with textile medium. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do, I have not done this before, so you never know with Deb, but I'm going to take a pipette and draw up some paint, and then I'm going to, let me see if I can squirt it back out. Whoops. Well, this might not work as good as I thought it would, but let me try. That's what happens when you buy cheap pipettes, I think. But I wanted to be able to put some paint down here. Let me do it this way then. All right. Oh, come on. Oh, here we go. Okay. Come on. What I'm doing is I'm using that stencil. I think the paint's gotten a little thick sitting here, which is what I wanted to happen, actually. But what I'm trying to do is put paint on this, and then I'm going to use a wide brush to make a pretty swirl design, okay? And the stencil is going to keep that area pure, so that I can then add different colors there, and I will show you how I did it. I printed out them, and then I carefully cut the stencils. Okay, let's see. I might have to use some paint brushes, but we'll see. And I'm hoping, okay, this took a long time, so let's see. Let me grab. Luckily, I always keep backup supplies handy. So let me then come in here with this, put this down. Yeah, this is going much faster. Okay. All right. Let me get another brush, put some yellow. Let me just go ahead and grab some of these other colors, because I want to try this before the paint gets too dark. Whoop, I forgot to put my cover down. Okay. It works great in my brain. We'll see how it does. When I think of these things, it always sounds like such a good idea. And we'll get a chance to see. Let me get this yellow off that purple. Okay, now back in here with the turquoise. Okay, and then my last color, which is a blue. All right, now let me try this before I get going too far. And now I'm going to take this wide brush I think it would have probably worked better had I done it a section at a time. But let's see. But I'm using okay. And this is just a way to put color on the background. Okay, let's see. Give me 1 second here. Let me put this under. Well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to use Jody's recommendation, which if you're doing something messy, take and iron some freezer paper to the table. So let me, all right, here is my freezer paper. Whoa, no, the paint did go through. So, let me see. This is why it's better to be fully set up before you start. So, oh, here we go. It's coming off. Thank goodness I just put this new ironing board cover on it. All right. I got ready to iron the freezer paper down. I thought, oh, don't do that as long as you still got paint on there. Okay. All right. All right. So now that's clean. Now I'm going to take, thank you, Miss Jody, for giving me this idea. And let's say you want to paint like this and you don't have your silicone sheet right handy. Just grab some more of that freezer paper and iron it on. Whew, thank goodness I got that off. I really did not want this messy already. Okay, so now remember the freezer paper has the waxed side, which is what allows it to stick to the ironing board cover and what allows it to be waterproof. All right, so here, we're back here again with this. What I'm going to do is I want to put a little bit more of a few of these colors on. And I know now to make sure I just do in a certain section. And I've got plenty of gray down. I think let's try this. So now I want to bump up that color just a little bit more. I used a wide brush so I could get a wide area. Okay. Now I'll do a little bit more here. Whoops. 1 second. I've got to watch where my hand goes. Okay. All right. Now you know why I keep numerous towels down here. And I just kind of look and go, what colors is this missing that it could use? Okay. All right. And then a little bit more of that. A little bit more of this. Wherever it's too dark, consider putting your lighter colors in. All right, now let me try now do this again. Okay. And as soon as I'm going to let this dry, and we're going to do show and tell, and then we'll come back to this. Okay. And I'm going to rub it towards the stencil because I want a nice crisp line when I take off this stencil. And you can kind of, rub as much as you need to get the coloration that you want. This, I think I'd like a little more purple down here. Okay. I want a little bit more turquoise and blue now. Let's see how this will look. That's pretty. Okay. All right. So that's it for these two things. Put these out of the way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel off this stencil and see how it looks. Yay! See that? Okay. So now what I'm going to do is let this sit and dry, because then what I have all these other, I forgot to put these on the background. Oh, well. But I have all these other stencils that I cut out different parts of. So then I'll iron this back on, and making sure I put them in the same position every time, I'll end up with all the different layers. And look at that. We almost all have freezer paper at home. Look at that wonderful stencil it made. So now I'm going to put my little fan up here to blow on that, because I don't want to iron another stencil on if it's too wet. What I had planned on doing was taking some of the cutouts and ironing them to the fabric so I would have little designs, but I will save those for next time. And if I'm careful with this stencil, I can use it 2, 3, 4 times. So I won't get rid of that yet. All right, while we're letting this dry, let's go do some show and tell. I can't wait to see how this is going to come out. Oh, Dolores, do we see the winning quilt? Woo! Put those back up, because now I know that the pipettes only work if it's very thin. And I'm glad that's set up. Thicker paint works better with stencils. All right, here we go. Let's see our show and tell. All right. All right. right, here we go. My son asked me if I've learned the system yet that's supposed to be really good at doing the show. And I said, no, I'm sorry, but I haven't. I don't seem to have enough extra hours in the day. All right, Alexis, we know that this was the next to the last, most recent that she did. Now let's see her most recent. Look at this. Isn't that great? And I kind of went past. I'll back up real quick. Look at how she starts out putting them in a hoop, and look at her drawing very, very carefully. That's wonderful. Thank you, Miss Alexis. Keep us posted because we love seeing your work. Now, let me see. I can tilt this camera so I don't have to. Well, it might be a little crooked. Oh, it's very crooked. I think I'll have to talk with Mark and say, how can you help me get this working right? Let me see if I can put this. Okay. Yay. I figured out something. It's an emery board holding it in that position. Okay, let's see who else we have. We have Miss B. Oh, the beautiful picture of her beautiful English Rose granddaughter. Is that just beautiful? I think her name is something like Lila. Oh, I'm sorry, Miss B. I'm getting her name wrong. And then let's see what Miss B. Oh, look who's doing some fabric painting. Fantastic. I love it, Miss B. Keep us posted on that. That is really cool. I like that. I'm going to be doing some fabric painting myself. So, oh, that's exciting. Miss Betty. Ah, yes. Okay. And I think I showed you these last time. And she made these for her daughter, who is a teacher, to give out. How nice. And I think it's for all her daughter's assistants. And it's so wonderful. They teach special needs children. Then look at her great blue heron standing in the water. How terrific is that? Love it. There is another heron. Oh, love it. And she's teaching her turtles on the beach landscape. Very, very nice. Okay, thank you, Miss Betty. Okay, now Miss Bonnie. And Miss Bonnie, now I've forgotten what you call it. It's something like, oh boy, I've forgotten. There's a name for this Miss Bonnie was using. And this is what she's working to make, is this red overlay part. She knows what it's called, thank goodness. But she's making one for herself because she's going to do some work with the SCA, which is the Society for Creative Anachronisms or something like that, which is, you go dressed in period costume and reenact. So that's wonderful. Okay. Can't wait to see it, Miss Bonnie. I know you can do it. Charlene Piper. Oh, we did love, and I'm so glad she's here today. We loved how she made the wave and showing the green through the wave. And look at that turbulence. It looks like Maine during a fair weather but rough seas day. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And since Charlene is here, maybe she can tell us how she did the light ray from the lighthouse. Did she use paint? Did she use organza or tulle? How did she do that? That is gorgeous. Love it, love it, love it. I love it. It looks like nighttime. Oh, just wonderful. Wonderful. The sun is set. And see how if you use the right fabric, that's why when I look at fabrics, I look at them with how could I use this to do something else? Beautiful, beautiful. All right, thank you, Miss Charlene. Be nice if each one of you could teach a class. Oh, and I'll tell you, let me see. I'll come back and show mine in just a minute. But I bought myself some new yarn. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, here we go. Because I figured the new yarns are definitely different than that stuff I've had for 20 years. This is so pretty. I love this. I love the colors. That is just wonderful. I love the white outlining all the different blocks. Beautiful, beautiful. And look at this. I think she said this was a pineapple fabrics pattern. I love that. Look at this. I tell you what, you have mastered the curves. That's fantastic. And you know, when you get used to them, they're not nearly as bad as you thought. Now, this is Debbie's, and she went on a trip. And look, she said, talking about everybody's been talking about doing the granny squares. She had to take a picture of that. Look at those beautiful little spools. Boy, they just lure you right in, don't they? Isn't that great? I love it. So there you go, all of us who've reaching out to crocheting again. Thank you, Miss Debbie. Beautiful pictures. Miss Diana. Okay, let's see. I think, I'm going to start with this one. This is so wonderful. She painted this. So ladies, let's get our paintbrushes out. And I wonder how, I thought she had done thread painting with the squirrel, but I think she's done maybe gotten some micron pens. That is just beautiful. I wish she could make us a tutorial video for this because it's absolutely exquisite. And the bark on the trees and even the little bit here, you can see where the squirrel's been running up and down, that same squirrel. That face is just beautiful. Beautiful. Way to go. Oh, yeah, that's the granddaughter looking for minnows. And this was, I think, her sister's cat. Quilt of Valor for two different quilts of valor for relatives. Beautiful. And I can't wait to see more work with this tiger. Wow. Okay, let me see. She's got a couple other new ones. Let me see. Or maybe I did get them all. What is this one? Oh, is this the cutest? Her husband takes the dog on the motorcycle with him. How cute is that? The dog will whine and cry and if he doesn't take him. Isn't that cute? And he's in a case that you can roll up the sides and it has screens so the wind goes through and keeps him nice and cool. I just love that. Right now they're camping and I just love that. That makes my heart happy. Thank you for sending that picture, Miss Diana. I think, almost forgot one. This is a portrait of her parents' dogs that she did for them. And they framed it. They loved it so much. And this has thread painting. Oh my gosh, look at that. Beautiful, Diana. You are so, so talented. Isn't that beautiful? I know her parents will always treasure that. I love the way she handled the couch and the realism of the couch cushion going down under the paw. That is just beautiful. You are so talented, Diana. All right, I think I got all from that. But boy, I tell you what, y'all can help me urge Diana figure out how that she can make a video for us. Now, I heard from Miss Jamie that she is now retiring from Skechers and she's going to have more time. And I can't wait to see her again and see Crystal again. So here is one of the rag quilts that you have to do a zillion cuts in to get it nice and fluffy. Look at that. How exciting. So she finished this quilt. I'm trying to think if it was for her mother or her sister, but how wonderful. And we're tickled to have our Jamie back very soon with us. Great job, Miss Jamie. Miss Jody. Yes, I have Miss Jody's continuing to work on her 2 block of the months she has going right now. This one from the Quilt Show, and I'm not sure where this one's from, but it's so great for Christmas. It's wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I love it. Thank you, Miss Jody. All right, now let's see. Linda, Miss Mary, let's see what Miss Mary, oh yes. Oh my gosh, Miss Mary has been busy. Miss Mary has been busy. Okay, she sent this one to me, cute as can be. Come on. Look at that. Isn't that great? Simple, but so wonderful for the holidays. Just wonderful. And are you ready? She hasn't been sitting still during portrait time. Look at this. Is that the cutest? Oh my gosh, I love it. So she has a kitty that she loves. She loves the Nutcracker, I guess, on TV. This looks like a boat there. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. Oh, look at, she loves her flowers. I love the earrings, and she used organza for the hair or tulle. How awesome. And look at the applique and the embroidery that she did. Oh, look at this. That is so cute. I love it. Love, love, love it. Oh, this is great. So she'll have to send me, and evidently she loves the Caribbean and the beach and the sand and the water, and oh, that's wonderful. So she'll have to write me a little synopsis of that amazing self-portrait. And look how the nose, it sticks out from the face. That is so cool. Her ears even, everything is, oh, I love that. Love, love, love it. Oh, that's probably a cruise ship. That's probably what that is. She must love taking cruises. That's fantastic. I'm not sure what's on her head. It almost looks like a hot dog. I'm curious now. Oh, I love that. I got so excited when I saw it, I forgot to ask her to give me some hints as to what it is. And Miss Marcia, her and SJ getting us all going on the granny squares. How neat. And then let's see, Melanie. Okay. Oh, yes. Miss Melanie had a birthday recently. And wait till you see what her husband got her for her birthday. Is that just wonderful? What a beautiful puppy. I hope all is going well in Puppyville. Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful puppy. And she made these cute bucket hats. Thank you for whoever helped me remember the name of that. And I love her machine embroidery. She is so good at that. Wonderful Thanksgiving placemats. Look at this spring one. That is gorgeous. And pot holders, or is this maybe something to put a casserole in? I love it. Another wonderful bucket hat. This is my favorite bucket hat of all. And then more beautiful pictures of Willow. Yep, I remembered what she named her new little girl, Willow. So hopefully Willow is doing well. And, oh, look at that. That is just beautiful. How lucky is she? It's a long-haired miniature dachshund. So very, very cute. Good job, hubby, getting that for her birthday. Miss Nadine. Oh, yes. Miss Nadine, you know she's been so busy. I'm going to just go through all of her wonderful photos. Okay. I love this quilt she made. I love her happy loops. Look at this pouch she made for her yarns. Now that she said, of course, if you're going to do new granny squares, you have to have new yarn, and new yarns need new containers to hold them. That's the Sunshine Quilt. Oh, I love that. Beautiful. Yep, she's our sunshine too. Look at this schmade. Isn't that wonderful? I love those fancy zippers. And look at the colors of her yarn for those granny squares. Absolutely beautiful. She has such an artist eye for color, for photography. Look at that. It's nice. It's so, so nice to see our Nadine back and creative again. That is just beautiful. And look at what she thought of for her colander. Is that the greatest idea? And is that the most beautiful? In fact, what is that called? When they put ceramic on metal. Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. Look at her little tag she used to selvage to make the zipper or the bag handle, and somewhere she did a zipper pull too. But isn't that beautiful? I love this table runner. Another wonderful bucket. Look at that zipper. Beautiful. I love how she did it on an angle. I love how she quilted the fabric. This is for a pillow to go with the quilt. Look at that. She made the little pouch for all her granny squares to live in. Then she is so artistic that when she blends her sugar for her Earl Grey tea time, she does it in a beautiful, it's 3 different types of sugar, and she does it in such a beautiful artistic fashion. Isn't that lovely? And here is a sunrise on her way to work. Oh, look at that. Just beautiful. Look at that cornfield. Oh, I tell you what. Oh, and here's a video. I can't get the sound. Oh, here's the sound. Let me go back. She said, who knew that rain had made such beautiful music? Let me go back to the beginning. Hold on. Isn't that beautiful? To some of you who are having droughts, we really wish for you to soon have soothing rain just like Miss Nadine had. I just think that's beautiful. A beautiful, magical garden. Thank you so much, Miss Nadine. Isn't that great? Guys, we're so lucky that we get to enjoy all of this. And all the way from Germany. Oh, here's another bucket with her yarn in it. And then look at her zipper pull. Isn't that sweet? A crocheted zipper pull. And I want to make sure I showed this. That is just exquisite. I think that would be a wonderful quilt, don't you? Okay. So now let's go back. Thank you, Miss Nadine, for all of that wonderful inspiration. Then Miss Nazi sent in these, and I know you remember these wonderful grapes. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Look at this paint by number she did. That is gorgeous. She went and bought some of the same fabric that I knew I had to have. Isn't that beautiful? And there is her fall mystery quilt. Isn't that great? I love it. Okay, thank you for, I know not everybody has time to do some of our activities, and they're just for you to enjoy if you have time. So please don't ever feel pressured. Well, you know, we have been on a journey with Miss Polly while she got her fabrics, her case facet fabrics in. I'm waiting for, there the camera goes. And she got her fabrics in. Aren't they wonderful? She got her pattern in. And in fact, let me show you. This was the pattern as on the package, on the pattern package. And here is some more fabrics. Well, Miss Polly doesn't believe in just sitting around doing nothing. Here is her quilt. Isn't it wonderful? Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. Now, she was worried that it didn't lay flat, but I do want to point out it's not hanging perfectly straight. The center is higher than each edge. So I think if she brings the edge up, it will help get rid of some of the waviness at the bottom. But I think that is a fabulous quilt, and she's outdone herself. There was so much fussy cutting that went into this to get all of the zigzags of the fabric in line. I mean, it is beautiful. So I think you've outdone yourself. It looks beautiful on that beautiful red wall. Way to go, Miss Polly. Remember, guys, she is still a new quilter. Isn't that amazing? So just if you notice, you're about a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch off between the center and each end. So try to see if you can bring that up. I think you'll be very, very happy with it. It's beautiful. Very rich looking. It reminds me of a tapestry. Gorgeous. Way to go, Miss Polly. That is a smashing success. It truly is. I'm sure y'all can reassure her too. It is a smashing success. So now here we go to Miss SJ's. And you know Miss SJ, she started out saying, oh yes, I'm working on granny squares and I wanted a color that looked cool for summer. And so here's one of her wonderful blocks. Well, are you ready now? Here's the second picture of her blocks. And I can't even imagine how to do a half a granny square. So that's something I'll have to learn. But aren't they beautiful? She really nailed the colors. So now, if you're ready, she's laying them out so that she can then do that special sewing together with yarn. Isn't that something? I'm just amazed. Amazed. Fantastic. So then, here, look at that. That is a gorgeous block. And it's got, look how it has like it's not a fleur-de-lis, but like 4 petals in the middle. That is amazing. Beautiful. Hey, wouldn't it be great if she could do a tutorial on that? Gorgeous. All right, and then she went on a trip to Brighton. So I've got a couple pictures to show you from Brighton. And she's in a glass elevator looking down, or maybe it's just I think she said it was like a glass elevator or some kind of platform that you can stand and look out at the beach. Isn't that beautiful? I love it. Love it. And here is another picture from that. Ah, that is gorgeous. You know, it's not as green as I expected. They say England is having quite a drought. I worry about them. I'm hoping they get some much needed rain. We just don't even, England and drought, that just seems incongruous. That can't happen. Look at this. Oh, that's what she's standing in. Now I get it. And I think she says it holds like 200 people. But look at that. Oh my gosh. That is amazing. Wow. And it looks like it goes up. You get in and it goes up and then it comes back. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's fascinating. I'll have to look that up. Brighton Beach in England. Wow. Thank you, Miss SJ. Now it all makes sense. Wow. How wonderful is that? Okay, we'll go back to mine and let me see. Hopefully I've got them in some kind of coherent. Let me see. Yeah, we'll go back. All right. Recent photos. This is what I wanted to start out with because I wanted to let you know that the indigo quilt is in progress. I promise. I hope to have it finished this week. And I can't wait to be able to take it off the frame and finish the binding and give it to my Mark. Oh, I went to the hospital to have my annual eye exam. And this used to be a couple levels of parking garages. These are parking garages. And they have taken this all down. They're building a new high-rise building there. So parking is a little tricky at the hospital. Just for you to know what a die-hard quilter I was, I had my eyes dilated and I was waiting for the doctor to see me, and I put the last parts of this quilt block together. So that is a die-hard quilter. Mark made a shepherd's pie. It was very good. All right, so I think I just wanted to let you know that I am working on his quilt. Okay, now let's go to my Maryland trip, and I'll have a video soon. But let's see. Okay. I was sitting there working with the boys, making crafts. Oh, they're so, so cute. So that was our last day together, and I was working. I had cut out some shapes and let them glue them down. And this is Donnie, just turned 2. This is Russell. He's 3.5. There's Russell taking a nap. He finally was worn out. Here I am with those 2 boys, my 2 grandbabies, Donnie and Russell. There they are. And they're not even 1.5 years apart. This is at my daughter Katie's house. Whoops. Oh, my finger. With her husband and her daughter Kylie. And picture of me in the car ready to come home. And here is a photo from the road. And that's on the Eastern Shore, I believe. The Eastern Shore is very flat. Okay, let's see. Okay. Here is, if you notice the clock, it's 12:30 the night I arrived at my son's house. And I brought a container full of my kids' favorite peanut butter chocolate kissy cookies. Luckily, I brought it home empty. There's another picture of Russell taking a nap. Another picture of me and the boys. Oops, no, it went backwards. Hold on, guys. I will probably have to do these by themselves. All right. So here, I'm reading a book to them while they're eating their breakfast. They know me as Nana who tells stories because I make videos of reading to them so that even though they're a few hundred miles away, I can keep up with them. All right. And here's another one of me reading to them. And this is my son in a silly hat, and they're both the boys. Okay. Let me see. Here's another. Oh, I was reading a Thomas the Tank. I read all those books to them during their breakfast. And here were the first day of crafting, where they did more freeform. I just made sure they had what they needed. Oh, they were making a box with popsicle sticks for their mama. So that was exciting. And then here we're doing more of the gluing of all the different things. I found some great stuff on Amazon. There's Donnie and his glasses. We always, every time we'd say, oh, he's so cool, he'd want to put those on. But I found some great things on Amazon of all different kinds of craft supplies. And this is Russell eating apple. He loved Nana's apples. Okay. And here we are outside. I was pushing them on the swing, and they loved when they bumped into Nana. I pushed them so high they bumped me with their feet. They thought that was fun. Here is another picture pushing them. And then here is, we're having the spaghetti. I ended up bringing some of my homemade spaghetti up and a chicken pot pie. And they love the spaghetti. I think they love the Parmesan cheese very much too. That was fun. All right. And then it's another shot of Russell sleeping. It's so, it's a precious thing when a child finally gives it up and goes to sleep. And here's another of our last craft. And here's a picture of all of us together. They're so cute. So cute. Very good boys. My son is the most amazing father I've ever seen. It just overwhelms me with happiness that he takes such beautiful care and is so involved with those boys. I'm very, very lucky. Okay. And this, I thought this was going to be a video. Let me see. Okay, let me try again. I'm surprised it won't show as a video, but nope, it's just opening as a picture. Sorry about that. Okay, so those are my photos, and I've got bunches and bunches of video footage that I am going to work on and create a traveling with Deb video as soon as I can, I promise. So that was so much fun. Now, while we were looking at sorry about that. While we were looking at all of your beautiful work, the paint has been dried here. So let's pick up the next stencil and see how far. I think I'll have to do the bead work next week, if you don't mind. Okay, now how did I have this? I think I lined it up just like this, because every one has got to be lined up the same way. Yep. Okay. All right, so line this up. Whoops. Let me get that warming up so that I can then press this down. Okay. And I'm going to take a piece of chalk. Let me mark with chalk the registration points. And because that way I can rub the chalk off later, but that way I can make sure I'm lining this up. All right. That's important. Anytime you use a stencil, you've got to get it lined up correctly. All right. And covering back to the line. All right. And what I love is this is something that you can do on your own. And it's wonderful. Okay. So let me get my brush. And I want this part to be yellow. Yeah. I was making sure I had it in the right place. And I'll just take the yellow and carefully, don't try to put it on carefully so it won't go under the paper, just in case, or freezer paper, just in case it's not fully ironed down. And just put it, brush carefully on the openings of this stencil. All right, and then around the edge, I have this area cut out. So it just takes a little planning as what do you want to put where. And because you've only cut out the areas for this, you don't have to worry about getting it on the surrounding area. Really makes it pretty darn easy. I'm sure most of you have done some kind of stenciling at some point. I remember during my budget time that stenciling was cheap to do when wallpaper and paint were expensive, and I stenciled about everything I could, boy. Cabinets, walls, you name it, I stenciled it. All right, so now what I'm going to do is bring my fan back up here, and I'm going to carefully peel off my stencil. And let's see what we've got. Yay! Oh, that's cool. So I'm going to try to let this dry just a wee bit. I tell you what, then I will have, I forgot that I've got to let this dry a little bit. Take care, Michelle. Take good care. All right, here we go. And I was thinking, when I get all my colors done with the stencil, then you know what I could do is come in here and paint black or dark gray in some of the recesses. So, all right, so this is how, one of the people wrote me, one viewer wrote me and said, how do you do your beads? Because where is the necklace? Okay. Remember I did this necklace that looks like porcelain beads, and they're just wooden beads. So I start out, I'll do, this design is one of my favorites. So I start out with a pencil, and I lightly mark on here what I'm supposed to do. And then like this, okay? And if you find, now when I use my mouse, my hand shakes, but when I draw, it doesn't. So, but let's say your hand were to shake, then the best thing you can do is, I have this on a skewer. I have the skewer resting on the desk and my wrist resting, and I put my pencil where I want, and I just simply turn the bead. And by doing that, now, if it doesn't quite line up, you notice I have a white eraser. I try not to use with my quilting or my crafts. I don't use color erasers. I use gum erasers or white. Okay, get that bead on there good. And coming around. Whoops, it's loosening up. Okay, come around like this. And then you can do the rest just to kind of remind you when you've got the markers in your hand, exactly what you were planning to do. I can't do freehand the design because it gets a little intricate. But the same thing here, down here, is you just take, you want to do a stripe down here, then you do a stripe here, and with it resting, with the end of the skewer resting on the desk, just spin it. And it becomes very easy. And then you can come in here and do the little marks. And then I'm going to do one more ring around it. The rings look really good on the beads, and they're pretty simple to do. So I'll put another ring here. Whoops. I need to resharpen this pencil. Okay, then I'm going to have these areas where I do these little sprays, I guess you call them. Like this. Do one this way. And then I do little berries. A berry and a berry and a berry. So you do this all the way around. And by using a pencil first, it really helps you to get it spaced out correctly. Then I'll come back with a pen and just carefully draw the pattern. Draw over the pencil. And the nice thing, especially about having a white pencil eraser, if you don't follow it perfectly, you can, after this dries completely, you can erase your pencil marks. And when I come back to doing the line, I just rest this. And this is an extra fine Sharpie. See how I do that? Then you come right back around. Okay, so that's pretty much how I do the bead. Now, to make them, to give them the softer look, I found the water base. Look, let me get a finer end. The water base, I like to come in and do this, go over all of my lines from before. Then when you put the diamond, or I'm sorry, the triple thick acrylic sealer on, it'll make it look a little watery to make it look more like the porcelain process, because that watery look comes from the glaze put on the porcelain. So I would first do the very sharp lines, then come in and do this water base. Now, in doing this, when you put the sealer on, since it's a water-based marker, it will want to run. So have a paper towel there, and every time you touch, try to put a good amount of sealer on, rub it on, then clean your brush on the paper towel before you take another stroke. And always have plenty of the triple thick acrylic so that you won't spread the color and get it all in the white background. So hopefully that has given you an idea. Now let's come back over. I think we're probably going to be ready. Let's see, which is the next one? It's this one. All right, so I've got to line it up again. And some of it's not perfectly dry, but let's just see anyway. I don't have time to be perfect on here. Okay, put this. Gotta mark up my mark. Line up my marks. Now this is what's going to get a little tricky, is trying to iron it down. I'll be careful. Some of the paint might kind of smudge because it's not dry. But you understand, if you're doing this at home, just give it 5 minutes between stencils to make sure it's dry. Okay, because you do need to iron it down good to get it stuck so the paint won't come up. All right, so now I'm going to do purple, and I'm just going to come in here and put it right where it's cut out. And I just used fine little scissors. You can use a little razor knife, anything like that, to cut these designs out. That's why I wanted to have it printed on the freezer paper, so when I cut it out, I can iron it right down and use it. And just be careful when you kind of dab the paint on so that you're not pushing it under any edges of the stencil. If you have an old stencil brush, perfect time to use it. Okay. So get this one. And I'm going to go straight to the next color. And let's see what we can do. But I just sat while I was watching TV and cut out the design with my little scissors, and it was very easy to cut it out of the freezer paper. And you just have to make sure that you don't do painting. You cut out, you make enough of them so that you don't touch other open areas while you're doing this paint. So that's how you decide, well, what stencil do I do where and when? It's pretty simple. And like I said, I put textile medium in the acrylic paint. Now this will leave a little bit of a feel. The fabric will be a little stiffer, but this is not going to be for anything I snuggle with. This is just trying out something interesting. I don't know how I came up with this either. I'm trying to remember what made me think, oh, do a stencil today. Let me clean my brush off real quick. And we'll get another stencil and go to another color. Okay. Let's see what this looks like now when I pull this one off. Oh, very pretty. Whoops. Sorry. Arm kind of sunk in the west there. All right. Let me lay this stencil where it won't make a mess, because the stencils kind of have to dry too to be used again. All right. This is kind of neat. Hi, pumpkin. Okay. So now, let me see. Come on, fan. Work good. Get this all dry. Luckily, one of the reasons I wanted to use acrylic is because it does dry fast. Okay. So which one do I want to do next? This is supposed to be my last one, but I think it'll give this a little more time to dry. Here I go. Put this here. And now you see why I put the registration lines in. And it's just done with chalk. All right. Then I'm going to give this a little quick press. Making sure to press it where I know I'm getting ready to put new color on. Okay, so now it's this one and the center. Gotcha. All right. So now I think I will do this for the little holes. And like I said, just kind of dab it on because you don't want it to go all under the freezer paper. And I think what I'll do with the leftover paint, I think what I'll do is take a paintbrush and do some little pretty designs on the rest of this when I'm done, because I'm going to have a good amount of paint left over. Now I'm going to take the yellow, purple. What am I going to do? I'm trying to figure out what to do for these little half moons. You know, maybe I'll do this again. I've done yellow and I've done purple. Okay, so I'll do these half moons the same color. And when I cut them out, I made them a little bit bigger because I figured I can make them any way I want. Okay. Just kind of dabbing so you're not pushing paint under the stencil. Okay, whoops. Thank goodness none of that. See, I just accidentally spilled, but that's just on the solid part of the stencil, so it won't hurt anything. And that's why you print out that many and you cut out that many, because it certainly keeps it very simple and easy. And this is just freezer paper printed on the printer. All right, so that part is done. Now I'm going to take off the stencil. Oh, that is so pretty. Look at that, guys. And this is just acrylic paint I already had. Freezer paper I already had. So nice to see you, Pumpkin. So it's just, you know, stuff I already had. Thank you, Amir. All right, so now I have one last stencil. And let me line this one up. I'm hoping that the paint is getting pretty dry. And now let me line this up with my points. Okay. Okay. I want to make sure it looks pretty good. It's pretty covered. Whoops. And let's say if you have an area where the paint sticks out, you can turn these around to a different point that still lines up and see if it covers up where a little bit of paint might show. Like that. That's better. So now I'm going to come and iron this. And here the last color is going to go on. All right. And my last color is this wonderful blue. And it's going to go right here. I think I'll be doing more of this because this is so easy and fun. I just, you know, it's a simple thing. If you want to do a simple project, this is it. It just takes a little time to cut out the stencils, which, let me remind you, don't make the pattern too complicated because you have to cut that out. And if it's too complicated, you will hate it. So when I went looking for a mandala, and a mandala, it just means a circle of life. So it's circular shape with lots of designs. And it's found in all kinds of different societies. They all like circles. Okay. So this is fun and easy. And I made up my paints ahead because I wanted them to get a little thicker. It makes it a lot easier to do the stencil if the paint is thick. And like I said, Just let the stencils dry in between, and you can reuse them, you know, who knows, probably between 3 and 5 different more times. So, whoops, one almost stopped too soon. Got to get this one. All right. Okay. That's my last color for today. And I might come back in and do in between the designs. Well, I'm glad you came by our channel, Pumpkin. All right, here we go, the big reveal. That is really, really, really pretty. Okay, I think we covered about everything. And I will decide whether I want to come in and paint the background gray or leave it like it is. Leave it like it is. Hi, Clay. All right. Yep. You know, we do a lot of quilting on this channel, but sometimes I love, like most quilters, I love all kinds of arts and crafts. So here, let me hold it up for you to see. There it is. And I definitely, now from seeing the middle, I'm going to take my paintbrush and do some swirls and pretty things in the outer border. Well, thank you. I just thought it was something different. And those of you like me who like to paint as well as we like to quilt, it gives us another form of sharing our artwork. You live in Brazil. Wonderful. I just read that the biggest language in Brazil is Portuguese. So maybe you can tell me if that's true. So there we go. And like I say, now looking at the center, I'm going to want to go back and do some little more delicate painting. Oh, that's wonderful. Wonderful. So I think, gotcha. That's wonderful. So I think we have covered everything. This was a full show, wasn't it? I need to make sure I don't take breaks for a while so that I don't overwhelm you with this big monster show. Thank you for all who stuck around. I know it went on a wee bit long, but I know that whoever had to leave early will come back and kind of peek at what we've done. And I hope that you enjoyed and it gave you some ideas of things to do. I hope you loved the show and tell. I always get inspired by the art you do. Oh, thank you, Miss Mary. Thank you. All right, so Portuguese is the #1 language in Brazil. That's awesome. And it's been a great day. Thank you for everyone. Thank you once again to Miss Danielle, who sent me the sweetest email checking on me. Everybody, it was wonderful to see you all. Have a great week. Take care of yourself. Do something silly and easy and fun because you deserve it. You really do. All right. Bye-bye, everybody. I will see you Thursday night for Art Quilt Thursday. We've got to catch up with Miss Mary. All right. Bye-bye, everyone. Thank you to all the new people who stopped by. Yes, please take good care of yourself, Miss Jody. We love you very much. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you again to my moderators. Carol, you always have my shoulders or my back. You got my back. I guess I'm saying it right. And thank you, Miss Marcia, for making everyone feel so welcome. Bye-bye. See you next week. Next Sunday.